All right, good evening. The time is 4:34, and we will call the Board of Commissioners for Skagit PUD meeting to order for September 12th, 2023. Ask that you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, well, first meeting in 3 weeks, so welcome back, everyone. I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 5.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. At this time, if there's any members of the audience wishing to step to the podium, please do so. If you're on Teams, we're having technical difficulties, so that's not going to work. You wouldn't hear me say that anyway, so we'll move right along to the General Manager's report. George.
All right, Mr. Commissioner, good afternoon, everyone. It has been a few weeks since we met last. We've got a few updates, but I'll start with something that just happened earlier before the meeting. So we had our exit conference with the State Auditor's Office at 3:30, and as we expected, another clean audit, which is really great for us. I think it's the 4th or 5th year in a row that we've got a clean audit, so that was really good. The people that work in the State Auditor's Office are really selective in their wording and kind of what they say, and they're not overly expressive in the kinds of things that they say. So we got issued an unmodified opinion. That's a really good thing. And a few examples of no deficiencies and no instances of non-compliance. So kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, but those were obviously really good things. And in their own way, with the words they chose, they heaped a lot of praise on Brian and the finance department and everybody that produced the information for them to review. So they were, from as much as they can be, they were really happy. Said we ended up, we would probably end up in the top 10. How much we communicated with them and how well the audit went. So it was a really short meeting, and it just seems kind of routine, but in difference to some of the meetings that we've had with them before, this was really good. And so I think it's just worth mentioning how much they thought of us. So the single audit went really well. We got some federal money last year that they had to audit, and since it's been a while since we had gotten federal money and had a single audit, they focused on that and said everything looked great. So it's really good. Good job, Brian.
Yeah.
And everybody else that participated, obviously. Other things, so there are Wakuda Association meetings this week by Zoom. I think all the agenda stuff came out, so you can sign up. The communication for the water workshop has been coming sporadically. Still some details left to work out, but hopefully some or all of you can make it over there.
Can you find out, when I go to sign up, the agenda is not at all clear? You know if it's been set yet? I mean, it just...
Yeah. Did you look on the Wakuda website? Is that where you're looking? So I would go back to Lena's email and the attachments that she sent.
I'll look again.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you want to know what's on the agenda, go to Lena's emails. To register, go to the website. And then if you register, just do invoice me. Yeah. And then get the invoice and report it on the channel.
I was figuring out which day I was going to go.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know how many options they have in the
just said
attendance.
The session. It just didn't give the names of any of the sessions or anything.
Yeah, that's part of the organization that hasn't happened yet. Yeah. So, look at the attachment on Lena's emails. That's the best thing to use. Looking ahead a little bit to some meetings, so the invitations have been sent out, but our budget hearing is going to be on October 10th. The draft budget will be introduced that day, but the board will receive the draft budget the week prior so you can prepare for the hearing. And then the 17th is an off week, but we're planning a work session on that day. And then the next regular meeting is the 24th, but we'll also have a work session prior to the meeting on that day. And hopefully we can get everything done by the 24th, unless there's some request or need for further discussion, then we can schedule some other meetings if needed. So, but as of right now, it's just the one additional meeting on the 17th.
And then earlier on the 24th, right?
And we'll come earlier on the 24th.
3-ish or 3:30?
It'll probably end up being, 2:30 or 3.
2:30, okay.
Yeah, we'll send an invitation to get the regular board meeting one earlier.
Perfect.
All right. Some other good news to share. So the new transmission line was put into service last week after the final connection was made. So after put into service meant that both lines were running concurrently at the same time while they were swapping services over. So that should be done fairly soon. So that's the last big milestone for that project, which is one of the biggest ones, obviously. It's put into service. So 2.5 years of work by a lot of people here at the district. So that's a really big thing. And thank you to all who participated in the project to help make it happen, because it did take pretty much everybody here to make it happen. So that's a really great thing. And then lastly, in the information section, items 11 and 12, those are updates to the transformer issue that we talked about at our last meeting. So the power transformer at the SRD. So in the information section are scopes of work that were agreed to with KVA since the emergency was declared. There's I think 4 different scopes of work that are all listed in there. So the total cost to date are just over $510,000, including one action to declare the existing transformer as surplus so they could drain the oil or remove it and dispose of it. So we had them take care of that as well. And I'm going to talk to Mike. He's not here, but last week we thought the transformer might actually come ahead of schedule. And there's a chance that it may be installed before the end of this month. I don't know. Marks, do you have an update on that? Is that either one of you? No?
The transformer?
Yeah. Okay.
Kurt mentioned it may be delivered next week.
That's maybe delivered next week.
That's as much as we need.
That's quite a bit ahead of schedule, so that's a good thing. So that's moving ahead. No additional unexpected issues have popped up with that. So we're just waiting for the new one to show up. Good. And that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Okay. Looks like Kathy is up with the HR department updates.
Thanks, Nick. It's going to be short and sweet tonight. It would be really much more interesting if I could talk about everything we have going on, but unfortunately we can't. So we'll keep it fairly concise. So as always, we'll do a staffing update, and that has slowed down quite a bit, thank goodness. We had a period where we were doing a lot of hiring, a lot of internal transfers and promotions, and it kept us very busy. But a couple of changes. So we have a new CSR, Brenda Butcher, started May 30th. And then we have Jennifer DeSalis, who is a temporary records assistant. She started July 10th, and she's been working out very well. She helped Shannon with a lot of projects in her department, and then she has been helping HR with some scanning, which has been really helpful for us. So she's been incredibly productive in the time that she's been here. And then tomorrow, we have a new employee starting as a GIS analyst as a temp, Kevin Urbos White. And so due to the difficulty in filling this position, it's been open for quite a while. It's a really difficult one to fill, and a lot of municipalities and other entities are having trouble finding GIS people. We explored other options other than traditional recruiting. And so this is a potential temp to hire situation where we try the candidate, and both can determine whether it's a good long-term fit. So it's really no risk for us, and it gives them a chance to see whether we're a good fit for them as well. So I think that's a good thing all around. So we're hopeful that that will work out. And then promotions, we filled the maintenance superintendent position internally. So Tyler Scott was on our crew, our maintenance crew, and he expressed interest in the position, and we hired him. And so far he's doing really well and really stepping into the position, and seems to be a great fit for that. So I'm very excited about that. It's always nice when we can give someone an opportunity internally. So. And then in June, we had our Wellness and Benefits Fair, and so we had great participation and a lot of good resources for employees. We had it here in the Aqua Room. We had PERMS, AFLAC, Mutual of Omaha Principal, our EAP programs, Empower, DRS, Teamsters, Riverside Health Club, and also True Benefits, which also included a certified Medicare specialist, which is really helpful for people who are getting close to retirement. Medicare is really a world unto itself with regard to insurance, so it's nice to have someone that can answer this question specifically. And we also had a coffee cart, which was a really big hit. My only concern with doing something like that is when we do something fun, whether it's the coffee cart or burritos for training day, it was Shannon's idea, people expect it every time, so we have to up our game. So it went over really well. And special thanks to Shannon for her help in setting it all up and the great ideas that she always has. And Catherine for jumping in to help with the day, which is always helpful. And then Krista for taking point on this. It's still so weird to me that I can just pass something like that off and have it taken care of. Then I walk downstairs and I just look around and it's all, going better than if I had planned it myself. So it's a nice change. We had great prizes. The baskets were amazing, and prize baskets, and then employees could consult with vendors about their insurance and also retirement questions, so it seemed to go over really well. And union bargaining, that's still in process. We only have a few more issues to resolve. We have a meeting next week, and then we'll have another executive session once everything's been TA'd. Our progress slowed a bit just due to some personal issues that had to be resolved by our business rep that she had to attend to, but we're getting started again and we hope to make more progress soon. So I'll keep you guys in the loop on that. And then upcoming, we have a DRS representative that's going to be here on October 3rd. They're going to make some presentations on the new Roth deferred comp option, and then we'll offer one-on-one meetings with employees if they make an appointment for any DRS-related issues. We also have, we're still in the planning process, but our goal is October 5th, but we're just still working through those details. It's getting harder and harder to have places do that on site, especially for a smaller employer, unfortunately. But we hopefully will have that done by Skagit Occupational Health. And we had also hoped to offer COVID boosters, but it doesn't appear that that's going to be possible on site at this time. So. But our plan is to have at least the flu shots and the wellness checks. And then some other things coming up. These have been on the list for a while, but they're ongoing. Some training initiatives for both employees and supervisors. HR and benefits records, that's a large organization project too. HR generates a lot of records, understandably, and so we are in the process of trying to figure out how to go paperless on a lot of those and to stay with our retention schedule and just make that much more organized. So it's nice to have help with that. Krista is dying to get her hands in there and really get it all organized, and I am happy to let her do that. And Shannon's been a great help with that as well. Also, professional development for the HR department, and then hiring practices and improvements. We're taking a look at that to see how we can shore that up just a bit. And then, special announcement, Krista Lewis obtained her SHRM CP certification. I know she's going to be embarrassed by this, but I wanted to point this out because half of this professional exam focuses on behavioral competencies, leadership, interpersonal, and business, and the other half is HR-specific knowledge domains. So it's people, organizations, and the workplace, and the first-time pass rate is about 65%. So it is a difficult exam, 134 questions, and it's 4 hours, and so I'm happy to announce that she passed her first time and is now a certified SHRM CP. So congratulations, Krista. And then I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions, Kathy?
No. Keep it boring.
Yes.
Very good.
It's just, it appears that it's boring.
That's right, yes.
It's very
Keep
exciting.
it so boring.
It'd be nice to have boring. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy.
So new business is the 9th and Highland Microhydro Project Department of Commerce Contingent Grant Award. Looks like we have to accept the grant award. And Mark?
So what's before you tonight is a contingency offer. So it's not the full grant agreement that we will sign. Hopefully we'll be able to sign it down the road. But PUD staff have been working on a funding opportunity for the 9th and Highland project for a couple of years now, and we're really excited that this one came through. Between now and if or when we do sign that grant agreement, we have a couple of things we need to work out that are significant, like the ownership of the device and solidifying the framework for being local with the school district on the project. But for now, we're looking for kind of a placeholder, an opportunity to keep the door open, and request that the general manager can sign this contingency letter that keeps us in the queue for the grant funding.
What's the timeline on that? So how long can we be in contingency before fully accepting?
Yeah, they're pretty vague on that, and they moved I think we could arrange a timeline with them. I'm guessing probably a year.
Okay.
But I don't have any basis for that. We've seen those kinds of timelines in the past. So far they wanted this signed earlier, and we told them that we needed to get commission approval, so they were able to move it back. In the contingency letter, I think it also says that the grant agreements will be processed in the order that the contingency letters are received. And so I think we're kind of toward the back of the contingency letter process because we missed the first deadline as it is already. But yeah, hopefully it would provide us enough time to get
The remainder.
agreements. Yeah, and they have to be, and I mean, that's what the contingency is for, too. So we get our alignment with the school district and everything else we need to have in place before we sign an agreement and walk down that road.
Yeah.
And it's always good to be accepting money, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
entertain a motion.
Well, I move that we authorize the general manager to sign the Department of Commerce Clean Energy Fund Grant Board letter.
My second.
Motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Put that off. Some informational items. I think George touched on a few of those in his report. Any commissioner comments this evening?
Thank you so much to Brian for what seemed to be and his team for a seamless audit. I was expecting to have a whole bunch of, information overload, and it was just, everything's great. Oh, okay. Perfect. That's great news. Boring is
That
good.
was quite a compliment to say you're in the top 10.
Yeah.
Because, they don't throw those out there very easily.
Yeah, it's what they don't say that makes it so great. It's just fantastic.
Any other comments this evening?
Oh, and congratulations on the transmission line, everyone. That's
Yes.
huge. It's very, very exciting.
Yes, it is. So at this time, we will convene an executive session to discuss potential litigation for RCW 42.30.110. Approximate time 15 minutes. No action.
So we're going to adjourn at 5:15.
Okay, we will adjourn at 5:15 p.m.
Recess.
or recess till 5:15.